All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. We are on part 2 of how to stop being an impotent force in the world and how to develop some force to dominate your life in 2019. And so if you didn't watch yesterday's, go back and watch part 1. Started going through the my personal manifesto, and not that I'm going to go through every detail of the manifesto, but I'm going to kind of give you a framework. And you know, the whole thing that I talked about yesterday was your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. You can't lead the world unless you can lead yourself. And so as you guys pop on, let me know in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching this live, drop me an L in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, drop me an R in the comments. And as always, I love to hear your comments. If there's something that you like, you don't like, you've got questions on, feel free to put it in the comments, and I will do my best to go through all of those. And so what we talked about yesterday, the manifesto, this is something that I read through in the morning, at night, and it's really meant to align me to become the person that I want to become so I can produce the things that I want to produce, become the man that I want to be, influence the world the way I want to influence it. And so your level of influence in the outer world is going to be based on your ability to influence yourself. And so that's what this is all about. We've got the manifesto here. We talked yesterday about the important truths about life. This is just reminders of things that are very true. And what I want to talk about today is developing your identity. And see, there's a thing that I talk a lot about, and it's called the law of consistency and commitment. And the law of consistency and commitment, it's used in marketing, and I've kind of adapted it to life. And it says that you will be committed to remaining consistent with who you believe you are. I'm going to say that again. You will be committed to remaining consistent with who you believe you are. And so what happens is, if you truly believe that you are a person who is lacking motivation, you're going to always find ways to lack motivation. If you're the kind of person who you believe in your core, you're just an overweight person, you're big boned or whatever, you're always going to find a way to have irresistible cravings. And so if you want to be fit, if you want to be an athlete, you got to change your identity first. You need to become the peak performance athlete first in your mindset, so that you naturally don't have these irresistible cravings. Listen, I used to crave all kinds of sugar. I still, man, I love chocolate, right? And I'll eat it from time to time, but it doesn't consume me. I do it because I want to, not because I have to, not because I'm called to do it or have this irresistible, craving to do it. And so we've got to always focus on our identity. And Tony Robbins uses the analogy of a thermostat. You're set at a certain level. If you're set at 70, if it gets up to 72, the air conditioning is going to kick in. If it gets down to 68, the heater is going to come on. That's the same with your income. If you've been making $50,000 a year for the past 10 years, your identity, your thermostat is set about 50,000. And so you might start earning a little bit more, but it's in contrast with your identity. So in many cases, you find a way to self-sabotage yourself and bring yourself back down to 50. And so if I want to earn $1 million a month, I need to become the kind of person, I need to change my identity to be $1 million a month type person, so that I'll go out and manifest the results. And so I'm just going to show you one quick way today. I'll show you another way tomorrow or over the next couple days. And one is, we are in many cases visual creatures. And so what I've created here is the Matt Morris identity. And so I've got a visual representation of my identity. Now, I say my identity, this is who I am. If I'm a little more honest, we might want to say this is the identity that I want for myself. Now, I say this is my identity now. When I'm talking to myself, and I don't like the fake it till you make it, never lie to anyone else saying you're someone you're not. But I think it's important to talk about yourself. When you think about yourself as where you want to be in the future. Your subconscious doesn't understand the difference between a truth and a lie. It acts on the commands that it's given. And so when you say, you're an incredible genius, your subconscious doesn't know that you're not an incredible genius. Your subconscious just kind of takes that on. And so the things that I've put here for myself, and please don't copy mine. If you're trying to be me, you're never going to be your authentic you. You've got to be your authentic self. And so, you know, I've got billionaire, mentor to top business leaders, philanthropist, international speaker, adventurer, genius, legend. Okay, so these are things that I aspire to be. And so because I aspire to be those, if I want to have those, I need to make those my identity. And so what I'm doing on a daily basis is I'm looking at these and I'm imagining myself in the Forbes 400 list, in the billionaire list. I'm seeing myself on stage in front of thousands of people. I'm watching my children. I'm seeing my children, big, happy faces. I've got my private jet here. I've got a volunteerism trip where I went and volunteered at an orphanage in Kenya. I've got myself on the top of a mountain, so that's the adventurer in me. I've got a lake home here overlooking Lake Travis. I've got a ranch here. And I've got my Palmer Johnson yacht here. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking at these and I'm imagining myself flying in the private jet. I'm imagining myself being on top of a mountain. I'm imagining, you know, watching the sunset at my lake house overlooking an amazing view. I'm imagining myself and my kids and my family on the yacht. I'm imagining hanging out on my ranch. You know, and so what happens is I think about those images, it starts to become my identity. And so someone, you know, years ago, they said, you don't get what you want, you get what you can picture. You get what you visualize. And so you want to visualize yourself being in those situations. And if you can't visualize yourself, if you can't bring yourself there mentally in your inner world, you'll never get there in your outer world. So hope this added some value for you guys. I will be back probably tomorrow, and I'll go through the next section of the manifesto here. So listen, if you feel like this can add some value to some others, definitely hit the share button. Love to hear your comments. If you're tuning in a little bit later, let me know where you're tuning in from. And let me know if you're watching this live or on the replay in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the hearts and thanks for the likes. Love the love. We'll see you guys soon. Go make life an adventure.